Okay, so I just wanted to update you. We decided not to go into the city of Loei. We decided maybe to come back sometime and do a series on Loei if it's worth living in as a ripper. But the mountains were beautiful. Phu Ruea was gorgeous, great camping there, but we decided to head to Chiang Rai instead. So by the time we ate and headed out, it got dark by the time we got outside Phayao. Right now we're outside Phayao, and I don't recommend you drive at night in Thailand. I've gone down the road and all of a sudden they've diverted a divided highway over to one side because they're paving or something, and there's not a lot of warning that all of a sudden the pavement's going to end or there's a big drop off. It's really dangerous. You're going around curves and stuff and people are coming at you, and it's just not a good thing. So I don't recommend you drive at night. So we got off the road, I guess it was about an hour after sunset, but we found a resort along the road outside Phayao because we're heading to Chiang Rai today. So we stopped last night. I just wanted to show you what we got on the fly. Stopped. This was Nat Ani Rakatarai. 450 baht. So 30. It's about $13 a night, something like that. So $13 a night, and this is what you get. It's one room, but it had great Wi-Fi. It has a refrigerator. It's got a TV. It's got the air conditioning. Everything was set up to what we needed. Very clean. So it was a great deal to get off the road, get some rest, get a good shower, do some work with some good internet, and that's it. So we're off to Chiang Rai today. I've got some members that live in Chiang Rai. Hopefully I'll catch up with them. Some ex-members, some of which I've actually shot videos with on YouTube. So hopefully we'll catch up with them. But we're on the road, headed to Chiang Rai, and tonight we'll be sleeping in Chiang Rai. So on the road again. One of the things I wanted to do while we're in Chiang Rai is turn Nat onto something that she's never seen before. Now, I've seen it before. In fact, I reported about it last time I did my series on Chiang Rai. But Nat's never seen it. So what we're going to do is we want Nat to experience the Clock Tower and its transformation that happens at night at 7, 8, and 9 p.m. Well, it is going on 9 p.m. right now. There's going to be a transformation that Nat gets to see for the first time, which is very cool. It's always nice to turn people on to something for the first time. So you can experience it with Nat, and if you've never seen it before, it's pretty cool. This was actually done in memory of the king, which happens to be up here on the mural. So this is very cool as well. So this whole transformation is going to happen, and Nat gets to experience it for the first time. Very cool. อบไหมสวยไหม Alrighty, well, Nat and I are in Chiang Rai, that's right. We've checked into a little it's called Eco Hotel, Eco Resort, Buffalo Hill. Buffalo Hill Eco Resort. We're out having a little coffee and some... That's right, Nat's infamous cocoa bun. Here's to Chiang Rai. And we bought some. Here, you can open these and show them. Sarah Pao is like a steamed bun. And there's a famous place right with this coffee shop. And it's your right? Yacht. No, my chai. Yacht Doi Coffee, which is right next to the infamous clock tower. And we bought these a couple doors down. They're steamed buns with pumpkin cream and regular cream inside. And this Yacht Doi is centrally located, so it's a great place to stop, have a coffee. A little bit noisy, but they got music, but they roast their own coffee, so they got good coffee. The ambiance is great except for the noise of the traffic, but don't put those away. We're going to have to sample those. So we're going to enjoy our coffee. We're going to meet up with one of my former members in a couple hours and then go to the night bazaar. But right now we're killing some time. I can tell you already, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check and see how many years it's been since I've been here to do this series on Chiang Rai. But I can tell you, it has grown a lot. I can tell you already. It is not the sleepy little town it was last time I was here. So anyway, we're going to enjoy our coffee and cocoa and Sarah Pao and wait on dinner and the night bazaar. Meet up with George, my former member. So, just checking in with y'all. See ya. So here we are at the food court at the night bazaar. One of my favorite places to eat in Chiang Rai. I used to eat here all the time. Now, before this place used to get filled up really quick. So I'm trying to get here early. Right now it is about 6:20 and it's already starting to fill up. And as you can see behind me, all around me, there's food booths. And so this is one of the best places for budget eating that I know of, especially for dinner. So we've actually ordered a couple things just to check it out, right? Just to make sure it's still affordable. Anyway, let's see what we got here. I ordered something I've never had before, which is pad thai. Yes, I've had pad thai before, but never with cashew nuts. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. And then we also got a spicy fried egg salad. So this is yam kai dao. This is pad thai sai met mamuang, sai goon, yeah, with shrimp too. Now this one was the equivalent of, it was 70 baht, which is the equivalent of about $2, and this one was 50 baht, which is the equivalent of about $1.50. So there you go. Sun's going down. We're getting a nice little sunset here. I'm waiting on my ex-member to show up to say hey, and we're just going to indulge in a little bit of food and maybe even have a beer or something and relax, listen to some music, and that's it. You, Mai?
Good night.
And Nat's not so hungry. I think from that big old glass of frozen cocoa. All right, later. Good morning from Chiang Rai. Well, we're staying at, and I should give this place a shout out, It's called Buffalo Hill Resort or something. What's the name in Thai, Nat? Arana? It's an like a little eco lodge. And at first I was sort of disappointed because the pictures, it looked really nice and it wasn't very expensive. And the room looked really nice. When I got the room, it was a little bit small for Nat and I to cross paths. She's got to climb over the bed. But it's a really nice place. You're in the city, but you wouldn't really know it too much. You're sort of removed. Great ambiance, environment. Staff is overly friendly. Very cool. Anyway, rented a motorbike. People are always asking me, what about some of these people you interviewed? You know, are they still there or whatever? So I actually went last night and met one of my ex-members, George. We never did an interview on YouTube with him, but he's doing really great. He bought a house and spends his days taking care of the house. He's married and stuff. But we're going to see Steve the coffee guy. I don't know if you remember the YouTube video I did, and I'll put a link in the description of me talking to Steve up in the mountains and on a coffee farm. Well, he is still here, and that was years ago. I forget how many. I guess it's been 3 or 4 years now. Anyway, he's still here. He's in Chiang Rai. I'm going to meet him at the Chiang Rai Climate Resilience Learning Center, which is, I guess they teach and educate people about aquaculture and stuff. So we're going to go meet him there and then maybe go see where he's living, catch up with him, see how he's doing. But he's still here. We're going to find out what's going on in his life. I can tell you already, Chiang Rai has grown a lot since I was here last time. That's for sure. Anyway, we're off. Hey, Mr. Steve. There you are. I hear you talking. I see you. With Steve here, which we did the video. How many years ago was it that we actually shot that video up at your place up in the mountain?
2.5 to 3 years.
I should have looked before I came to do this so I knew when it was, but it's been a while,
yeah,
you know?
It's been a while, yeah.
And I always got people asking, you know, whatever happened to Steve, you know? And so I figured we'll sit down for a few minutes, have a coffee, which is appropriate considering the conversation we had last time, and talk about what's transpired over the time since we sat down and chatted up there on the mountain. And a lot's happened for you since then. There's been a lot of changes. One of the major things that happened not that long after we did that video was it that you fell off of a ladder or something and broke your hip, or how did that work? Or do you even want to talk about it? Some things I do are so stupid I don't want to tell people.
I mean, we're talking about two basic disasters that happened. Two, yeah.
Oh,
the first one was I had too many Chiang beers and decided to prune a tree that was blocking my view of the sunset.
Yeah.
So I climbed up on the tree to take out some limbs so I would open it up for
and the limbs
sunset.
took out you.
And I fell. Not only did I fall out of the tree, I fell down the mountain. Broke 3 ribs, punctured my lung, basically had to crawl back up to Kai's house and wait for him to come up and take me to the hospital. So that was the first disaster. So about, I don't know, 8 months later, 9 months later, I'm driving down the road and some guy pulls right out in front of me and I had to turn the bike over and I landed on my hip, fractured my hip, had to have a hip replacement. And so living on top of the mountain on that slope was no longer feasible, so I had to move down to Mae Ao.
That was for rehab and everything.
Yeah,
right? Get yourself.
Yeah, it took about it's been about a year and a half now, and I'm finally getting it back to. I'll never be back to normal, of course.
Yeah, well, let's talk about for a minute, because you mentioned this briefly, that the cost of the hip replacement. If you'd gone to what we would consider a foreigners hospital, where they cater to foreigners,
right.
It would have been, I think you said 4 times the cost it costed a normal...
Yeah, about 4 times. It was over 200,000 baht at the most expensive one here, which is a really good hospital, but they're really price heavy. Over 200,000. I went to the provincial hospital, the Chiang Rai hospital, and it was 67,000 baht.
Big difference.
Yeah, big difference.
Big difference. So that got you off the mountain.
That got me off the mountain, and had to recuperate. Watch how I step, watch how I.
Which is more of a challenge in Thailand, right? Here you really got to watch your step.
Yeah. I mean, you can't assume that the infrastructure is paved, all the sidewalks and the roads don't have potholes and stuff like that. You have to look down a lot more than you would in the States.
Yeah. During that time, did you ever consider moving back to the States?
Never.
Never occurred to you?
Not even for a fraction of a second. I had my sister who went through 2 hip replacements, and she kept trying to force me to go back, and I said, "We're going to live on Social Security in the States? You got to be kidding.
Yeah, right.
I'll be eating dog food out of a can."
That's what I tell people. Yeah.
But no, it never occurred to me. I knew when I left it was no go back, So why would I want to do that, So even with all the imperfections that are here in any new country that you go to, I still think there's a lot more pluses to living in a country. Thailand, Southeast
before our
Asia.
coffee, we actually sat down and had a little meal. We were talking about all the challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are a lot of challenges, and there's no perfect place. And so we sort of put up with some of the challenges.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that if you understand all these challenges, then you work within the system. And once you understand the system, that hopefully my videos and the information help people to understand the system so they can work within it easier. But so I feel the same way you do.
Well, I think what happens is they bring over a dream world with them. And the dream world marries with the real world, whatever country it is, and you adapt. You either say, "Oh, I have to live in the dream world." Well, if you want to live in the dream world, you're going to have to go back.
Yeah. And it's no dream there either.
It's no dream there. I mean, that's a false dream there, So you come over here, you find the realities of it, you throw away some of the dream world, you absorb some of the real world, and you adapt it to a world that fits you, that you can live in comfortably.
That's a good way to put it.
So, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, I've spent most of my youth going from one country to the other and saying, "Oh, I can live here, I can live here." But you've got to be in that country long enough to suss out the reality of it. Even if you're going to live in someplace like Norway or someplace like that, you've got to suss out the reality of it.
And see if it fits you.
Yeah, it fits you. Some people can't. Some people they carry all this baggage, or they inflate the country they're moving to. They inflate it. This is Thailand. The land of smiles, beautiful women, subservient women, fall in love, live happily ever after. I mean,
and then it doesn't live up to those expectations.
That's bullshit everywhere.
That's right.
But you can find those crevices in the chink in the armor where you can live comfortably and happily, and that's what you find in Thailand. I mean,
have you found your chink?
I'm finding it. I'm finding it. But it's the same cheek I was looking for everywhere. You know, that hasn't changed. I mean, your priorities, you won't do a whole set of rules and regulations which you adapt, and you go through this thing, you start throwing baggage away. You start lessen your baggage, you know. Start adapting to what's going to happen, you know. Stop carrying all these dreams in it. I mean, or adapt your dream, you know.
That's the best.
That's it.
Change the dream.
Change the dream, you know.
Especially if you've been searching for it most of your life and haven't found it. It's
right.
like, okay, well, maybe the dream is a little too hard to attain. Maybe you just need a different dream.
It's not going to be in a place. It's not going to be in a person. It's going to be within you.
That's right.
You have to find it here first, and then everything else will attract itself. You know, you start putting out a vibration, and you will attract those vibrations.
That's right.
And people, places, ideas, good things, bad things.
And a great example of that, of what you just said, was what you sort of attracted. Because besides growing coffee, you had another passion, which was aquaculture. And it just so happened that once you needed to move down to the city, you looked for a place, and you looked at one place, and it just so happened they're all tied in with other people that were interested in the same.
I found people who are like mine, you know, and that was it. You know, I was putting out the vibe. And when I landed, those were the vibes that I surrounded myself with, you know. Agriculture has always been it. That's been the first primary source of what makes me happy, is to grow something. I don't give a shit what it is, a rock or a tree. I can grow it, you know.
And so that's what's taken up your time and energy now, is pursuing your secondary. Was that your first passion, or coffee your first passion?
No,
or are they both
the agriculture.
You ain't growing anything.
It was just a Pacific. When I landed on the mountain, I landed in a coffee farm. You know, when I moved down here, I landed in a hydroponic system, and I'm interested in aquaponics, so it's a natural fit, you know.
Good. So basically, after all these years, you're still happy here?
Yeah, still happy here. It's 5 years now.
A long
5
time.
years.
I remember when you first came over.
The problem is, I spent 4 years on the mountain with the hill tribes when nobody spoke any Thai, so I have to learn Thai now after 5 years.
Yeah, that's a bigger challenge. Yeah. Did you learn any hill tribe language?
A little bit.
Did you?
A little bit of loose too.
Yeah. Do you miss being up on the mountain at all?
Yeah. That was a paradise. Basically, if you ignored the realities around you, it was a paradise.
You had to create your own little reality up there, your own bubble.
Right. And it's isolated. You know, I'm one of those few people that can live in isolation and be cheerfully happy.
Yeah. Entertain yourself.
Entertain myself, yeah.
Well, it's been great to catch back up, and I wanted to do this and get people caught up with, because you're one of the people I get asked about most.
Yeah.
What happened? Because I guess your lifestyle was a lot different than most people's lives, and it was an interesting environment and your outlook on life. So it was good to catch up with you, and I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and have a coffee. And well, there you go. There's the update on Steve and what he's been doing. And if you have any questions, people got in touch with you from before. Somehow they'll track you down somehow.
Track me down.
You want them to track you down or not?
Can't hide from it.
Can't hide from it. Anyway, well, thanks again, and I hope this has been helpful and informative and entertaining, and we got some distinctions that'll be useful. So there you go. Remember, when it comes to living in Thailand, there's always an option, right? Up in the mountains, in the city.
Many options.
Many options. See ya. JC and Steve out. So we finished our breakfast, which is included in the price of the room. Very nice. The coffee's excellent. They have a real machine, but it actually makes the fresh coffee. Everything grinds it and does the whole deal. So speaking of coffee, we're leaving today out of Chiang Rai, so I wanted to go check out a place that Steven told me about yesterday, the coffee guy. Maybe I can buy some green beans, and the place is called The Roast, and it's not far from here. So we're going to go check that out and see if we can buy some green beans to take home with us. Let's go check out The Roast, see if we can buy some green beans. Well, we're at The Roast, and I can't buy green beans. Actually, I could buy green beans if I ordered them in advance, which I don't have time to do. So ordered a coffee, great coffee, and Nat is going to buy some, what is this? It's coffee soap or a coffee scrub or something. Coffee. So anyway, she's going to get that. I'm going to enjoy my coffee. If you're in Chiang Rai, come stop here. Awesome coffee. You can make it any way you want. They actually have slow brewing systems and stuff where you can actually slow brew your coffee if you wanted to. They have espresso. They have roasted beans you can buy. Just about everything except the green beans that I wanted to buy. I know I can buy them in Chiang Mai, which we're headed off to. So this was a great experience, though, and it's great to know this is here. And if I'm ever here for a long period of time, I could actually order the beans that I want. So there you go, our experience at The Roast. Finish my coffee, we're going to pack up, and hit the road. Not sure where we're going to be reporting from next, but you'll be the first to know for sure. Good coffee. Hey, JC here. If you like that video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel here. Also, we have another video up here you're going to be really interested in watching as well. And if you're looking for all the details of how to retire in Thailand in one place, plus a group of people to support you, check this out over here. Give it a click.